I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam.
Everybody notice how Donald Trump has a new announcement every single day? There's a reason for that. He's really trying to get away from the Epstein file. Today it was an announcement on Social Security. Today is the 90th anniversary of Social Security, which was signed into law by FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And Trump just sort of sat there and rambled.
Keep in mind that the Republicans keep trying to cut Social Security, and not only cut Social Security, but privatize Social Security. The last president that tried to do that, of course, was George Bush. They're always trying to get the money from Social Security into private hands.
I was in Milwaukee. I guess they had the Milwaukee Arena, and where we had some good success, some good speeches. But he's a really legendary guy, and he wanted to do this. I mean, he just wanted to straighten out Social Security because he loves our country. And what he's done in a few months is amazing. Almost 60 million American seniors rely on Social Security for peace of mind and a life of dignity and retirement. These Americans paid into the system, and they deserve leaders in Washington who are going to protect the benefits they've had and protect Social Security. Under Biden, Social Security went down like nobody's ever seen it.
Can't get out of an event without mentioning Joe Biden.
There's never been anything like it. The 4 years of Biden were very, very destructive. It couldn't have gone on much longer. Social Security was going to be destroyed. It was being destroyed. The average call wait time reached an all-time high of more than 42 minutes. Field office wait times were at 32 minutes, which is unheard of. And the disability claims backlog was the longest ever in recorded history. In other words, it was run just like the country was run. It was run really badly. But I'm pleased to report that under our leadership, and Frank in particular, the changes he's made and what he's done is sort of a miracle. Sort of like what happened with the country as a whole. Field office wait times are now down 30% since last year, and it looks like it's going to a total record number. And the record was set in a long time ago when the world was a lot different place. We're gonna.
Of course, you can't believe any of these.
Call wait times are
We have no idea where this
70%
data is coming
while
from,
serving twice as
what
many
he's referring to, or anything else. We do know that, of course, DOJ cut a bunch of federal agencies, and then there was, of course, the reports that they had gone into the Social Security directory and somehow got everybody's personal information. So I don't know what he's talking about with regard to the wait call time.
Purposes, it was essentially not open very much. They were always maintaining it, but they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They had a person running that had no idea what they were doing. Among my very first acts was to order all government employees to return to the office or be removed from the job, which means our Social Security offices are now open for full business hours, 5 days a week. So unlike being shut down all the time, we're open at record levels also. We're making it really great for the people that want and demand Social Security, and they paid into the system. They deserve it. Last month, I signed one big, beautiful bill and allowed no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, okay? So how's that? Not bad, right?
And then, of course, he did a historic cut to health care, which is going to kick in likely next year when these companies start giving everybody their rates. That's interesting that he's saying that he was such a benefit for Social Security.
Many of them have already left the country, and yet we were sending them checks all the time. And 275,000, and that number is now even larger than that, Frank. It's an unbelievable job. And what that's doing is making the system strong. It's making it strong. Biden never kicked anybody off. Everybody joined. And
we should have a Biden drinking game. Every time he says Biden, I mean, he's obsessed with Joe Biden and Barack Obama. I don't know what this is about. Obviously, this is going to be an executive order signing because he's reading it, but who knows where this is leading.
120 years of age. Think of that. So we had 12.4 million names where they were over 120 years old. Is that right? That's a hell of a statement. I have a feeling, Dan, that's not really really didn't happen, did it? So you have 12.4 million names listed in the Social Security database that were over 120 and 20 years of age, meaning you were breaking records, because I've never heard of anybody at 125. There were nearly
Obviously, he's reading and doesn't understand that what he's reading is probably inaccurate.
60 years old, and in some cases getting payments. So somebody's getting those payments, and we're after that. We're also fighting the menace of inflation to make life more affordable for American seniors. And
You could put anything in front of him, the script of Quincy in 1976, and he would read that.
And now our inflation is down to a perfect number, a beautiful number, hardly any at all. And yet our country's taking in tens of billions of dollars and trillions of dollars, actually trillions of dollars in tariffs. You know all about it. It's been amazing. They say, why are we taking in so much money? Last week they found $29 billion and they couldn't figure out where it came from. I said, check the tariff shelf. And they said, how did you know that's where it came from? Taking in
Tariffs have been a disaster, which is why you got bad economic news today, which of course he's not mentioning.
Frankly, were taking advantage of us for many, many years, and they were doing that to us, but our people didn't know it. We didn't have smart business people. We've ended Biden's inflation nightmare and came in below expectations, and yet again this past month we set records. Gasoline prices are way down, and really dramatically, as everybody knows, and energy prices have been going down, other than in certain states where you have Democrat-run states where they put windmills all over the place. Anytime you see a windmill, you'll say, well, they have bad energy costs, and it's happening in New Jersey. I saw that there's a revolution going on in New Jersey. They closed up a nuclear power plant, and they're raising electricity rates by 21, 22, and 28%, something like that. And you're going to have a new governor in New Jersey. I'll tell you what, you have a good man running the Republican Party. He'll get them down. But what they've done is they've killed so many good sources of energy for very expensive windmills and lots of other things that don't work. 401ks and retirement accounts.
He hates windmills, which he's bringing up windmills and how much he hates windmills. Where'd that come from?
Record highs, and yet we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. So it's turned out that Trump was right and they were wrong.
And like Nixon referring to himself in the third person, which is sort of odd.
So we're going to keep the fighting going. We're going to make America's seniors every single day. We're going to fight for them. We're going to make them richer, better, stronger in so many different ways. But Social Security is like pretty much the one that we think about, and we love it, and we love what's happening with it. And it's going to be good for 90 years and beyond. Again, you were given only a short period of time. Social Security was supposed to be like that. Had they won the election, Social Security would have defaulted during Biden or Kamala's election. Well, they so chose. Two beauties. And now what I
obsessed with Harris, obsessed with Biden.
This is a man with a really storied past. He won
Drink, by the way. I mean, it's like 7 Bidens in there. Drunk by now.
J.P. Morgan Chase and what he did for Henry Kravis and all of the others are like legendary stories. And he just wanted to do this. He's making about a tiny fraction, I would say, a tiny fraction of what you used to make. But he didn't care. He wanted to do it. He made a lot of money. And he said, I want to run that system. I want to put it back on track. And he's got unbelievable talent over there. It's like a different place. So, Frank, would you say a few words, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Is less than 1% tiny fraction, sir?
Is that what it is? Less than one? That's a tiny
That's
fraction.
an honor. That's an honor.
So that was just an announcement. He's not signing anything. He's just talking.
For his tireless effort in running the country and what he's done across the country, meeting every commitment. And, you know, I see it directly in the big, beautiful bill, the opportunity that it's brought to seniors. But his effort on every commitment.
Wow.
Against it, and delivering on world peace tirelessly.
Oh, yeah. We got a war going on almost everywhere.
You know, he's teasing me, I'm teasing him about the economics of the job. But the reality is to serve 300 million Americans, which is what Social Security serves, is a tremendous honor.
We have the official sycophantic statement from a staffer. He just is going to drone on now.
I believe
drone
I
on and on and
to
on and
say
on.
is the best leadership team ever assembled in the White House and in the cabinet. So that's my great honor. So I come here and get the opportunity to serve the American public in a manner that I never imagined in my life. And what we found was the opportunity to fix a foundation. The reality is, people talk about 72 beneficiaries. I talk about over 300 million Americans with a social security number that we must protect through the system. And when you look at what we talk about in eliminating social security numbers that were live in the system, they could carry fraud through the whole system. So the first thing,
Yeah, okay, so I think that's enough of that. That is just
the best
a very strange set of statements from the guy who's in charge of Social Security. Who knows
and
where
better service.
Trump got him, but whatever. He's there to talk and say how great Trump is, and that's what he's gonna do, and that's what he is doing. He's talking on and on. So I guess that was just a Social Security statement, and there was no other signing, other reference to. Thank goodness. I mean, there was nothing more than just talking there. Not getting another martial law related announcement for the Washington D.C. area or anything like that. So, there's nothing really to say other than the fact that the what is really a martial law situation in Washington D.C. continues with a bunch of an assortment of federal police actually. So ICE, National Park Service, apparently border control. Then there was sort of an interesting group of people sitting out there that nobody could really figure out who they were because they weren't identified specifically, which that's always part of the mix for Donald Trump, that we have law enforcement walking around with no identifying factors, and of course you had some of them wearing masks. Who knows? Donald Trump runs this White House like a TV show. He continues to do that, and we'll see what happens next. But certainly, this all was designed to be a distraction from the Epstein situation. He was trying to turn the news cycle off of Jeffrey Epstein.